New York.
A city of islands.
Only the Bronx, the city's northernmost borough, is primarily on the mainland. In addition to the three principal islands, Manhattan, Staten Island, and the westernmost part of Long Island, New York City contains around 40 islands.
As Melville writes in Moby Dick, commerce surrounds it with her surf. Right and left, the streets take you waterward.
We are Duo Extempore, and we explore history, space, and art through specially curated musical improvisations. Here we bring you to New York City's Roosevelt Island, once a place of incarceration and quarantine.
Home of the abandoned, insane, and contagious.
Nestled between Manhattan and Queens in New York's East River is a sliver of an island about 3 kilometers long and 1/4 of a kilometer wide. The real native New Yorkers, those who lived with the land long before that name came to existence, called the island Minnehaha, which can be translated to, "It's nice to be on the island."
The Lenape people fished and gathered food here long before Europeans discovered their new world. Today, it is nice to be on the island. Although it is accessible by tramway, ferry, subway, and a bridge, present-day Roosevelt Island is a small town in a big city. The East River boat traffic gently passes by in front of Manhattan's bustling arteries and dominating skyline to the west. To the east, the industries of Queens' waterfront factories power millions.
Roosevelt Island, Minnehaha, is an island both literally and figuratively. Despite peaceful views from the land, the East River has notoriously strong currents and tides. Technically, it is not a river, but rather a tidal strait that connects Upper New York Bay with the Long Island Sound. Currents change direction and can reach 5 knots, making the historical center of New York's maritime activity a ferocious passage. It is no wonder that 17th century Dutch explorer Adrian Block referred to the present-day East River as Hell's Gate.
Above these waters on the north end of the island, just south of the section of East River still referred to as Hell's Gate by those who navigate the waterway, The lighthouse stands 50 feet high.
Designed by James Renwick Jr., architect of the Smallpox Hospital and the Smithsonian Institute, and built in 1872, the lighthouse stands as a sort of monument to the island itself, built by inmates of the penitentiary with stone extracted from the island.
Moving south, we encounter another distinctive structure built with the island's own granite, and somewhat haunted by the history of purpose. The octagon.
In 1839, the New York Lunatic Asylum was built, which featured the Octagon Tower. 10 years prior, the city had erected a penitentiary just 1 year after purchasing what was then called Blackwell's Island. Subject to vandalism and twice burned in the early 20th century, the structure now has 2 high-rise apartment wings extending out from the dome and overlooking a private pool, playground, park, and sports fields.
Today, as children play and families relax by the pool or walk through the park, one cannot help but to feel the presence of the former residents, not there by any choice of their own.
To serve on-island prisoners on what was then called Welfare Island, the Chapel of the Good Shepherd was built in 1888 and was designed by Frederick Clark Withers.
The chapel closed in 1958, though it was restored and opened to the public in 1975. Located on Main Street, it now functions as a community center and church. Just southeast of the chapel is the Blackwell House. Completed in 1796, it was the residence of the Blackwell family, owners of the island prior to its sale to New York City.
Restored in 1973, the timber-framed dwelling stands today as a window to the late 18th century, itself an island in the greater concrete jungle.
As we move to the southern tip of the island, we encounter an ivy-colored skeleton which looks both majestic and sinister.
Like the lighthouse to the north, the Smallpox Hospital was designed by James Renwick Jr. and was built in 1856. Before being closed in the late 19th century with the advent of the successful smallpox vaccine, New Yorkers afflicted with the disease were quarantined here by law.
Today, only the facade stands after years of being ravaged by vandals. Minnehanuck
of the Lenape, Hog Island of the New Netherlanders,
Blackwell's Island of the family namesake, Welfare Island as the home of hospitals and commitment, Roosevelt Island as of 1973. Today, the sliver of an island in the East River is a survey in the history of Greater New York City.